Watch this, then let's talk.
I never once said that. Literally never said that. Never the case. You're turning it into something that it isn't at all. He's doing that. Okay? Dude, I got couples counseling. I'm not even kidding. He's turning it into something. You are right here creating a problem, placing the blame on you. Okay? Completely denying the fact that you have feelings. You have feelings. He's completely denying it. And then he goes, problem that is non-existent once again. I don't know what you...
Leave him. Just leave him, because communication should not be, one, that difficult, and two, you should not have to center you being able to have a conversation with a guy. Not a boyfriend, not a husband, not a whatever, especially if it's just a guy. Why are you bringing other people in to try and understand what he's saying so early on? And I understand. It's funny. It's like a fun thing to do. Sometimes I share texts from like when I date. And like sometimes I share like funny texts with like a friend of mine or whatever and be like, oh my God, can you believe that he said that? And they're like, Shannon, he never actually said that. And I'm like, ha ha ha, whatever. But it's all fun and games. This seems like higher stakes, and it just doesn't seem worth it to me. And I think that a big reason why a lot of people that date men, especially women who date men, find themselves not necessarily in this exact situation, but trying to get so many other people's interpretations on what a man is trying to say is it's multi-tiered. One, we've been fed a lie. We've been fed a lie that men are significantly more complex than we could ever imagine. We have been fed that lie by media consistently. We have been, and media can include, I'm not even going to include podcasts because it's, all I hear on most male podcasts are ooga booga, right? But some people hear other things. Some people hear words. Is it me? No, but I'm leaving the door open for other possibilities, right? But you think about movies, you think about TV shows, you think about the rom-coms, and nobody understands me. Like that kind of like sad boy trope that a lot of men try to play into so that way they can win sympathy points for when they intentionally build confusion. That comes into play a lot. And you know, there's also this mentality that a lot of kids have been raised into where it's like, yeah, you know, little girls, they like mature faster, but like men, little boys, like they're the leaders. And so that creates this hierarchy of, yeah, okay, little girls mature faster, little girls, and whether it's for a bunch of reasons, right? That's for a whole other video. But then for the little girls or the little femmes, they go, oh, wow, I am understanding so much right now, but all I'm being told and all I'm being shown is that these boys, these male presenting children, whatever, they've got it together. Like they're the ones that are I'm going to be the nurse. They're going to be the doctors. Right? So clearly there's something so much more that they grasp that I don't. Now, do I think the whole like men are going to be doctors, girls are going to be nurses thing, is that kind of changing? Yes, in practice, but in mentality, I think there's still a lot of decentering of maleness that needs to happen, right? I think we're en route. We're not fully there. Part 2, when it comes to relationships, we have all been fed a bigger lie that relationships are supposed to be hard. They're supposed to be work. There's supposed to be a level of struggle involved in it for it to be authentic and real. And yes, relationships are work, but all relationships are work. My best friendship is work, but it's not work that I have to bring other people into to try and interpret what it is that she's saying. And as the person in this video is talking about is, hey, he is disregarding your feelings and he's manipulating what you're saying, right? That's not the kind of work that I'm talking about. Because friendships and romantic relationships all fall under the same umbrella as work. Right? So when it comes to how we communicate, emotional openness, being able to share when something hurts us, being able to share our joys, being able to create space for somebody, be that emotional space and time, that's work. But trying to decipher, am I being manipulated right now in an intimate relationship that I care about? And how do I navigate this to maintain this relationship? That's not what that work is supposed to be. And once again, literally no hate to this girl or whatever, because this happens all the time. This happens all the time. And so what happens when we have these kinds of things go on, where we are talking to a man and they're ooga boogaaing, but they're toxic ooga boogaaing. They're like, you know, like they're doing that to us. And we're trying to come at it with logic. We're trying to come at it with sense. We're trying to come at it with understanding and compassion. You can't compassion your way to English when you're getting ooga. Let's just lay that ground right there, right? But you're trying, you know, you're optimistic, doe-eyed. It's a nice thought, right? So that's happening. You realize you're getting nowhere and you're continuing to feel worse. So you bring another trusted person, probably a woman or a femme person involved, right? You go, does this make sense to you? And they go, wait a minute. That's not making sense to me. You go, all right, let me get another opinion. So you get another person, inner circle, probably femme, right, involved. They're looking. All of a sudden, you are now centering men in your non-men relationships. You're making other women, other femmes focus what they could be doing. Everybody could be doing so much better. We could be curing not prostate cancer. We could be curing breast cancer, ovarian cancer. That's what I'm talking about. Like, sorry. I'm back. Right? But this is how insidious the centering of men is, right? We don't really have to think about it because it's so prevalent in our society. For example, think about this. There's so many videos on YouTube, TikTok, all these social platforms where women, and it's like a ha-ha, but it's not really a ha-ha, where there's women who dress up, they're getting ready to go to brunch, and they're sitting there at brunch, and it says something like, POV, you decide not to talk about your boyfriends, or you decide not to talk about relationships for your brunch, something like that. And it's just a video of gorgeous women looking phenomenal, having drinks, and the camera switches from one person to another and everybody's silent. There's nothing to talk about if you're not talking about men. There's nothing to talk about if you're not centering men in your relationships. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing. And yes, it's a joke. And yeah, like I giggle every now and then when I see that, but it also really makes you wonder when it comes to the relationships that you have. How often are we centering men in our non-male relationships? And with this thought, I'm gonna give an exercise because me and some of my friends are practicing that right now. The ones that are in relationships and ones that are not in relationships. Try to have a full day, whether it's a full day or just like an hour or a brunch or whatever. The next time that you hang out with your girlfriends, just clock how often you talk about men. And maybe even pose it to the group. Hey, let's like have the best time. Let's do whatever like we were going to do. But let's just keep it about us and what's going on in our lives without centering men in our bonding time, in our sisterhood. And just see, one, how often it comes up, and two, if there's any like awkward silences, because it'll help us to become aware. Not to necessarily stay in those awkward silences, but to become aware of how often and how effortless the centering of men can be in our lives. Thoughts? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your comments. Let me know your concerns. Tiffany, type them away in the comment section. Also, if this resonates, feel free to like, share, subscribe. I should have done this earlier. Hi, my name is Shayna. I talk a lot about, obviously, decentering men. I'm also very child-free. And I'm a journalist. So I have a lot of thoughts on a lot of things that my editors don't necessarily want me to talk about. So I share them here. Yeah, so that is all for now. Have a great day. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.